It's been a big journey for arcade machines for me. Starting out in Florida with Dig Dug, moving back to Rockford and building with you the Ms. Pac-Man cocktail from scratch. And then, you finding the Donkey Kong. So that was the 3 games I had in a little room in my house. And then we decided to move the arcade into the dining room.
It was a long time coming.
Actually, it was in your workout room first, a little tiny room.
Yeah, that's that little room, exactly. And then we decided, once we did the show, the dining room will be the arcade, and then eventually we'll work on the basement. And the dining room got full. I mean, look at this. Look at the dining room filling up over each episode.
So the move to the basement was not only needed, but definitely wanted.
It was needed completely because we were full. There's no more we could do. Even the centipede temporarily, I don't think that ever made it into the dining room.
It did not.
It made it
into the
back,
sunroom.
the sunroom. Mike and I built the Ms. Pac-Man, and when we set it up, I did it the same way as Dig Dug, with an iPac USB device to run to all the buttons and joysticks, and then a computer inside, which in this case was a laptop running Hyerspin. But it was always a little clunky, and Hyerspin is tough to configure.
Just turning it on and having to power the computer up and shut it down properly.
So what did you guys do? How'd you fix it?
Convert it to something standardized, which is JAMA. Decided to go with a standardized connector, which is JAMA, which meant that we could disconnect the iPac wires, every single button and joystick that was wired into a JAMA 56 connector.
Were they soldered too?
Oh, he soldered them.
Yeah, I thought he soldered them. I remember that.
No, they were soldered to the controls and the buttons, but on the iPac side, it was just a flathead holding each one down. But I wired that into the JAMA connector, and we had to twist, solder, and heat shrink them properly. So there's a long time lapse of doing that. Hopefully it's like 5 seconds for you because it's really boring otherwise. But now that it's on JAMA, there's a 60-in-1 board in there, a PCB board that just outputs VGA to the monitor and plays 60 different arcade games.
Hey, that's gonna suck, Greg.
Yeah, wait.
I looked on the internet and I found an electrician in the area to come to my house. It's very important, safety reasons wise, like that we have a sub panel put in properly, because if I did it or we did it, I'm sure it'd work, but I don't want to wake up in fire, Episode 6, I did a time lapse of me painting the walls. I kind of did it backwards. If I had to do it again, I would paint the ceiling and then the walls and work my way down, because it was kind of a pain otherwise. A lot of touch-up work to do. But I painted the walls, and then I started painting the ceiling, and this took at least 5 separate times painting. And Mike was lucky enough to be there for 2 of those. Yeah,
Lucky
that's right.
enough.
We got the full
Was it fun?
suits.
Oh, it was so much fun.
And I made sure to get the exterior paint that sticks to concrete and metal really well. And that stuff is nasty. Oh, it's so nasty.
He invited me over for the part where we were touching up the areas that didn't get hit with the big sprayer. And we got to use the
Spray
rattle
paint.
cans.
Inside?
Inside. That was not fun.
How did you ventilate?
We were wearing
We had masks.
That was it. Come masks.
Yeah, that was fun.
Needless to say, I'm coughing just thinking about it. It was not fun.
They're gonna die soon.
Black lung.
A lot of work. Painting, I mean, if I had to do it again, yeah, because I'm happy with it. But I would probably hire someone to do it.
Robbie?
After we got the ceiling done, then it was onto the floor. And that's when decision-making time came in. It was either carpeting,
Carpet.
floor
I looked
paint.
into the carpet I wanted was over $1,000, and I was just like, I can't justify that.
As
'Cause
cool
if
as it would have been,
floods, if it
If it
floods,
floods, it's gonna get all moldy and gross.
it just wasn't worth the money.
The
too.
floor was so nasty after all the
Oh.
paint particles that came down on the floor.
And when we ripped out the exercise room, the carpet was adhered with some kind of glue, so we had to scrape it.
The next part was, do we paint the floor, obviously, but are we going to paint murals on the floor, blacklight murals, and have someone come in? We still might do that. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But
But
just-
at this point, we decided get the epoxy floor paint,
Mhm.
do it a good base right off the start.
We bought a bunch of Romex. Initially, I was going to do it without conduit. You got to do it with conduit, make it clean.
Yeah.
Drop down with the conduit into the
Industrial.
box. And we went with, to code is to have your GFCI breakers in the first line of the circuit, and every outlet after that is fine. So we just started out, we mapped out how we wanted the circuits to lay out in the basement and did 3 20-amp circuits.
Pretty
in-
straightforward.
And one of those 20-amp circuits, we added direct lines into 48-inch blacklight tubes, which was awesome. Stuff we've had to overcome with the show is, the dining room filling up. And an even bigger obstacle every month is trying to find a machine. That's tough to do in an area where there's not a lot of machines listed online. So now that we'll have room in the basement, I feel like it's really opening up opportunities for us. So if we go to a guy's house and he has a barn full of games, we could buy that. Or a bunch of games, we could buy them.
Or like an auction with over 200 arcade machines.
200 machines.
Yeah, then we could buy those too. So, you threw me off a little bit. It's time to move the machines down the stairs. I got my snowboarding helmet on with the GoPro.
For all that POV action.
And this gets really hot. It gets really hot. It's like it's all padded and stuff. But we wanted to give you guys, your point of view of what's happening, bringing it down the stairs.
You weren't doing that for your safety?
No.
Yes. I just didn't tell him about it. I was like,
Safety
I need the
first.
footage. But yeah, it's Mike's favorite part, is moving machines around. He loves it.
I thought you were the one that
Not
moved
my
them by
favorite
yourself
part.
all the time.
That was when we started the show.
That was before you really knew how much they weighed. But yeah, montage of video of us bringing the machines downstairs.
Let's do this. Look at me. You're holding it weird. I wanted to push you.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
I wanted to crush you.
That was one of the things I shouldn't have said. I should have kept it in my head.
Everything's down there. It's wired up. It's clean.
It all works.
It's beautiful.
Nothing's broken.
It is beautiful.
It's dark. Then Greg goes over to the breakers and BAM!
My eyes light up, and it was just like when I was a kid, you know, and it hit me for a second that these are the machines I played these same games when I was a kid.
And you've gone on all these journeys to get them.
Yeah, and my memory's terrible, so now I can actually look at the footage and remember getting the games. But now it's party time. It's time to enjoy all the work we put into it, and it's time to have arcade parties all the time.
Yes.
Let's go play right now. Let's go.
Let's play.
Go through this.